All right. So we talked about it.
Man, and let me just tell you, Jack was not prepared for how long I was going to go on about this subject. He thought it was going to be like a 45-second clip, and I jumped on that soapbox and I didn't come off because it didn't feel right. Link is below to what we talked about before about how I just felt icky about it. Icky's not the right word. I think the kids now say ick.
Is it just ick?
I think it's no why.
Kraus came in a few weeks ago and said, hey, I was listening to Metapod podcast.
Yes.
And they were talking about how PSA was going to try and ask you to sell them your slabs.
Yeah.
So that they could then get a consignment fee.
The new piece was they wanted your commitment to sell the slab before they graded it. And that hit me as, ooh, I don't like that. The offer to buy after they had been graded is something they had implemented already that we've already seen as a card store that they've already give us the instant offer. That had been around, I mean, that's probably been around since maybe middle of October, maybe even September.
Right. Short story long, something felt off about it just from a conflict of interest standpoint with PSA. And lo and behold, here we are today about 2.5 weeks later.
Yeah.
And someone's posting on X about a couple tag team Zekroms that they put out, and I believe it was Preston. I want to make sure we give some credit to Preston.
Yeah.
Posted on X. Sent in some tag team Zekroms. PSA said, hey, they got 9s. Do you want to sell them to us? And he said sure, because he knew 9s are harder to move as tag teams. And then PSA turns around and lists them all as PSA 10s and sells them on PSA as PSA 10 tag team Zekrom Pikachus. So
my difficulty there is I've only ran an organization that has had at most 140-ish people, right? This card shop has 8 total employees, including the owner. So in that spectrum, right, 8 to 140. I've been involved in private equity. I've been involved in venture capital, right? This card shop is not that, but I have experience there. What comes to mind is a grade 9. Okay, so how can every single card be a 9? One of the challenges I feel the community has is also like the transparency behind what makes what, so, and the inconsistency. Okay, so we've reinforced that urban legend by this specific data set of one guy submitting multiples of the same card who has had experience before in receiving grade 10s, and he got a grade 9. Okay, so that's challenge number 1. Challenge number 2 is he makes a post. And I believe the first time I saw his post was, man, I was sure some of these were good. The reason I bring that up is the guy that graded the cards is not sitting there in the PSA corporate account to Canva, typing in the individual certifications, the individual card, putting the card number in there and then saying it's got 9. No, the individual grader has to be putting in, after the system generates the cert, they have to be putting in what the grade is. So in the system of PSA, it is a 9 for that email to generate to the end user. Pause for a moment, I'll come back to that in a second. So then the end user gets the email and is crestfallen, and I think the offer, will correct me if I'm wrong in post, but is $35 a card. And he's like, yep, I'll take it. Just give me the cash, it'll be fine. And as unfortunate would have it for the end user, he went back and looked at a couple of the certs and pulled them up. And I'll be danged if them certs didn't turn into 10s.
Yeah.
So you can go ahead and put a conditional grade on a slab in the system, and then once it's committed back to the company, you can then turn around and change what the grade is. That feels like it shouldn't be editable. That feels like when you're in your company's corporate system,
right,
that's a box that unless your name has executive in it, your title, you don't get to edit that box. So I got an issue there. The next issue is how come nobody knew? How come it had to come back to the end user who is just being curious? How come there isn't some audit alert, some email that got sent out? If we're customer facing,
that's my thing, yeah.
Right?
So it turns out that PSA since has resolved the issue by going back and letting the customer know that there was a glitch in the system, that they didn't receive the sell option in time before they actually went back, and some big corporate long answer that they gave as to why this happened. But to Josh's point, and my concern, why is it on the customer to contact PSA and find out why their grades are suddenly 10s now? Why is PSA not proactively saying, hey, we screwed up your grades when we said that these were going to be 9s. They're actually 10s. Do you want to sell them now? Versus you got to go dig and find out, lo and behold, through their listing, of your cards that they've been updating to 10s. Do you understand what I'm doing?
Whoa, boy. If your whole focus of your company is to be able to provide added value to something, there is no product that you're creating. You're taking something from somebody and you're adding. It's like detailing a car, right? You're not changing the car, you're making it more valuable, right? If that is the focus of the company and your sole thing is to provide a added value, which increases the value on some cards, 20x. I mean, there's cards that we were looking at yesterday that have a raw value of 20, that have a PSA 10 value of 400. And if that's your focus, you would assume that email that you send the customer is probably one of the best emails you get to send for making a mistake. Usually when you're in a business and you make a mistake, you have to go, look, man, I'm so sorry, I screwed up. I apologize. Here's how we're making it right. But no, this is different. This is, hey, we told you it was a 9. It's only worth $35. Now it's worth a 10. It's worth whatever. Like, that's a good email to send. You want to do that because then you build trust with the people that use your service.
But they didn't. And why didn't they?
In the system. I don't know what the system looks like. They gotta have one. You can't just willy-nilly go change it, because now you mean to tell me that of the millions of cards that get graded, that this only has happened once, A. B, you mean to tell me that someone had the authority to override in the system that they could change it from a 9 to 10 and nobody else got alerted? That it's just this one grader and then that direct supervisor, and then they can just make it all right. You mean to tell me that you have switched the core focus of what the organization is? Instead of simply grading something and charging for a service, now you're actually providing an outlet to provide the floor and ceiling for what a product costs based on your value and your purchasing power, that now you're actually getting involved in reselling that, and you can dictate the different price grades of what the different PSA grades. Now, all of that to say, that seems super tinfoil hat. I thought I was a little bit crazy, but now it's actually come out. Here's the other piece on top of all of that. As a card store, the reason that I've done 5,000 or 6,000 cards graded through PSA this year is not because we love PSA. It's not because they give us a break. I can't pick up the phone and call anybody and have them do anything for me at all. I send an email and it just gets sent to the same bot that gets sent back to you guys. It's because us as consumers, not you, us, we don't provide same level for other grading companies. A Tag 10 comes in, a Beckett 10 comes in. I'm not talking about a Gold Star or a Pristine. I'm talking about CGC 10. Any of those, AGS, it doesn't matter. When those cards come in the shop, they are not worth the same money as a PSA. There's almost a 25% price swing between a PSA 9 and a CGC 9. And because we, as the people who are spending the money, don't associate top tier values with other grading companies, we're going to continue to use PSA because it is the gold standard. I saw a post on Twitter that said, saw the drama, think it's crappy, still going to send my cards to PSA, not much I can do about it, oh well. And that's kind of the world we're in, but holy crap. If there was ever a marketing opportunity for one of the other grading companies to scoop in and figure out how to provide a better service than this, it's here and now. I mean, Jack and I, we wanted to start a grading service. Jack would just grade them all 11s, right? So then you get the Jack 11. But
I don't move the goalpost. It just stays 11.
It stays 11. That being said, guys, what do you think? Is this nuts? Am I overreacting? Am I too caffeinated on a Friday morning? Is this just a non-issue? Tell me what you're thinking.
I think my biggest thing, just to close out on this, is just be careful, guys.
Currently in this environment, there are lots of different ways for people to get paid.
Yes.
And the best way for you to cover your investment or to cover your collection is to make sure that you're well documented and you know exactly what's going on and you keep the receipts.
Also, if you don't get 10s, go take a look and see where your certs are a few weeks later, because
yeah,
they might be 10s now.
You might get
PSA is not going to let you know. So.
Yeah. All right, thanks guys, appreciate it. Peace.